What's good? What's good? What's good? Yeah, man. One o'clock Eastern time. Y'all get this about 3 o'clock Eastern time. What's good with everybody? How y'all doing? Appreciate y'all pulling up for yet another smoke break while we talk our little talk real quick. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all. Welcome to Kush Equilibrium. I am your always smoking host. You dig? Oops, great. But you know, sometimes you gotta go behind enemy lines to get some of this stuff that we be talking about. And I don't like it. But, you know, keep your friends close and keep your enemies closer, as they say. And we're going to react to something from the other side of the fence. Because they had a good question. And I feel like people don't know what to do with it. And I think more importantly, I think the primary reason motherfuckers don't know what to do with this particular question is probably because they're not old enough. Or are unfamiliar with the way things used to be. So we're going to react to a little Rory and Mal. I know. That's why, look, we smoking. We're going to be all right. It's going to be just a little bit, just a little taste. Just a little taste. And that's it. I won't even do y'all like that. I wouldn't even do y'all like that, subject y'all to them like that. But we're going to get a little taste because end of the day, we're going to keep it 100. This was their question. So this is, when I do reactions, it's kind of like my way of giving you credit. I didn't see a question or a comment or a particular reaction to something until I saw your video. I mean, I'm going to take a clip of your video. I'm going to put it in the description so motherfuckers can go watch the whole thing. But we're going to expound about it over here because that's what we do. We get high and we talk our talk, but we can still think. You know what I'm saying? This is we're multifaceted. We're not a monolith over here at Kush Equilibrium. So let me put the ears on. Let me get the ears on. Please like, comment, and subscribe. You know what I'm saying? I got to give y'all that for the one time. You know, YouTube like it. I got to say it. But I don't bug y'all like that. Cause y'all my folks. Y'all pull up on me to smoke every day. At least once a day. Sometimes 2 times a day. So I appreciate the love. With that, if you're smoking, light it up. If you're drinking, pour it up. We grown, so let's get to the business. You know, 1 o'clock. Yeah, you can drink at 1 o'clock. Hey, we all go through different types of days. You know what I'm saying? So if you need a little drinky drink, man, pour that up and let's get to it. All right, like I said, this is Rory and Mal. We all are familiar. I'm gonna let it play out a little bit so they can really explain the question. And then we gonna get them up out of here and we gonna talk about this while we gonna do us. Let's get to it.
And each week, I always enjoy tapping in with y'all. So I wish this could be a conversation I could have with y'all, but I want to talk about the latest generation of hip hop artists, specifically the ones that come after the Travis Scott and Young Thug class, who are also on a mainstream level. I feel like we've seen a lot of promising artists at one point or another from this latest generation. They've had a hot song or a hot moment, but we haven't really seen anyone go on a 3 or 5 year run, in that amount of time. And so I'm talking about the artists like Roddy Ricch, DaBaby, Lil Baby, Lil TJ, Young Blue, Polo G, Young Moneybagg Yo, Saweetie, 42 Doug, Lil Tecca, Fabio. a lot of those guys. And then I think there's another group like Kodak Black, Lil Uzi, Yachty, and Jack Harlow, where they've had mainstream success. They're still putting out music. They're still active. They're not really kind of competing at that upper echelon level. And I think that speaks to like a larger thing where we don't really see any of these artists wanting that top spot. No one is really going for the throne as previous generations had. I think there are artists who are showing like a lot of staying power, like 21 Savage, Meg, Lotto, Glorilla, and Doja. And I think in several more years, if they continue their trajectory, they'll definitely be cemented for their era. But just want to have a conversation with y'all. What you think? It's been hard for like a lot of these artists to kind of
I mean, we've been having this conversation, I feel like, for years. I'll humbly say, I think I was the first podcaster to bring this up. Well, as much as I like Lil Baby, everyone was like, he's the next one. We have not seen a rap superstar since Drake, Kendrick Cole. We've had great artists, but they've never even remotely come close to the superstar role the way those guys have. I mean, I think Future, Nicki, Travis, all great examples, but this new generation, there's no star. There just simply is not a new star.
But we know why, though. Like, we've had this talk years ago, and I told you years ago, it's easier for artists or for somebody to get into the industry now because all you need is a record that'll go viral, take off, and all of a sudden the industry is gonna, or the label is gonna put money behind this person who's not even a real artist, who just caught a record and is not ready for that type of responsibility of upholding a certain ethic of music and culture and things like that. That's not what they're in it for. They're just trying to get out of their mom's basement and pay some bills.
I think that happens, but to this gentleman's point, like, I think Uzi has put in his 1,000 hours. As much as like Uzi isn't always my type of vibe, like I would never think Uzi was just some artist that happened to just get on and like had one viral moment. He's been here and impacted the culture through his, like, he's a real artist. Even if it's not my type of shit, I can respect what Uzi is doing and understand that it hasn't strayed that far away from real artist integrity. Like,
yeah, but there's
a bunch of people that just get on for a fucking week and it's like you had one song, whatever. But he named people at 21, Meg, Lotto, Kodak, like all have great catalogs and are real artists down to their core. They're just not superstars. I don't know if that's just a reflection of how consumers get music. There's just so many options, and it's not like when it was radio where we were listening to these 7 songs every day, no matter what. We have access to listen to whatever the fuck we want. Discovery is different now. So maybe that's why there aren't superstars, but
no, I don't. Well, maybe, but I'm more on the side of a lot of these artists. When you say superstar, I don't think people understand exactly what it takes to be a superstar. There's a certain level of consistency. There's a certain attention to detail.
We'll give it about one more minute because I want to make sure I at least give them a chance to get their little opinions out real quick, and then we go. I'm gonna say what need to be said because I mean that's what I do.
There's a certain commitment to get,
but they not hitting the point right.
Getting better. To be a superstar, you have to be, all cylinders have to be moving at the same time consistently. And a lot of people just either don't care to be that consistent, are not dedicated enough to getting better. There's a lot of things that I think goes into why there may not be the next, or who can we see as the next superstar. I think that we have good artists that make good songs and good albums and get put on a good show, good performance, but superstar, which is why you see somebody like a Usher who is still probably 30 years, if not more, into music, into his career, and he's still able to go on a world tour. He's still able to go sell out arenas and get residencies that sell out, and with music that he's put out over his career, because Usher has dedicated himself to a certain level of consistency, to a certain level of greatness that I think a lot of people are not willing to dedicate themselves to. So it speaks more to the person and the artist as to why we may not have the next quote unquote superstar. But it's just I think that it's because access has been granted to too many undeserving is why. we probably have a bigger pool of artists and people that were like, hey, what about this person, that person? Yeah, but in all reality, that person was never even supposed to really get on.
Hate to say it. That last part, he ain't lying. The last part, he ain't lying. It's not a hard question. It's not a hard question. Let me answer this thing. Let me answer this. And your favorite rapper might not like it. And that's cool. First and foremost, let's acknowledge the fact that everybody cannot be a star. They don't have what it takes. You ever see that basketball player, that football player got the highest work ethic out of anybody on the team, but the talent's not there. The talent not there. Their body can't take the hits or whatever. Remember the story of Rudy? Heart of gold. Not a lick of talent. Not a lick of talent. Heart of gold. And that's what a lot of these rappers got. Heart of gold. They mean what they mean it. They mean well. They want to do well. They have no idea what the fuck they doing. And some of this come from having homies in the hood, on the block that say, oh, that's fire. Oh, you go places. This all started from homies lying to their homies. You should have first off told Joe G, man, that ain't it. Rapping in the hood is not the same as rapping for the world. And we got a lot of I can rap for the hood type motherfuckers out that ain't got it. Another problem I see, and we got away from it. I noticed he mentioned Roddy Ricch, and I would say take Roddy Ricch out of that, in my opinion. And the reason I feel that way is I think TDE is going to is more of the, think of the Dungeon family. Nothing is coming out until we cook it the right way, right here. They put a steel fence around that whole group of men and went to work. They went to work. Think about it. They never left the basement for days. They in there hot, sweating, stanking. Smell like ass sweating and kush. But they was cooking. We got some of the greatest hits known to man out of the Dungeon family because they worked on the craft. They worked on it and worked on it and worked on it and boom. Music in general don't do that no more for the most part. Nobody's sitting and seeing the talent and locking it away and cultivating and building with it. Oh, you know what? You could possibly make it. And they throw them out there and it's either you do or you don't. Didn't take the time to polish up nothing. Didn't polish up nothing. Didn't make the strength stronger. Didn't make the weakness stronger. Just, it'll get better over time. It'll get better over time. That's the big reason. That's the big reason. Think about it. Cats used to be underground for a little minute, right? You knew about them, but they were like, damn, when they putting the album out? When they putting that? It was working. Think about it. You held nobody to no kind of standard on a mixtape. So if you doing undergrounds and mixtapes for a year or two, working on it, but no official album, they're not doing that no more. That's like waking up and say, you know what? They're gonna be a truck driver. I'm gonna drive semis. They don't just throw you in a semi truck and say, best of luck to you on the road. No, people die that way. And that's what's happening. Careers are dying, or they're not reaching their full potential. Another part is us as the fans who take in the music. And I'm trying not to make it one of them videos again, because y'all know how I get about that dude. But when you are programmed or what have you to take substandard music, it's a trend. People follow. This was another issue with having you know who at the top. If you setting the standard, and that was the standard for music, I just gotta follow that standard, and it gives me the best chance to get to where you at, because you doing it and it works. And that's how motherfuckers think. Tell me if I'm wrong. Hit the comments. Hit the comments. Tell me if I'm wrong. I'll redo this video again. I get enough comments. I'll redo this video in the live. I don't care. I like conversation. We here to smoke and conversate. Let's be for real. Some of it is us. Those of us who didn't care about the music, just as long as it had a catchy little beat to it, and we gobbled that shit up, pause. We can't get woken up by Kendrick or whatever and be like, why the music suck? Where the hit makers at? Where's the all-star caliber music? You ain't been asking for it for 10 to 15 years. Why are you asking for it now? You didn't care all this time. You know what I always found funny? Entertainment is judged by awards, right? The best of the best win the awards, allegedly, technically, right? So if you have someone who doesn't even want to achieve consistently competing for these awards, is that not damaging? That's like me not wanting my basketball team to be going after the championship. Man, every time the season starts, if a championship not on your mind, that's gonna piss me off as a fan. It's competing. When you say you don't want stuff like that, that means that's basically saying I'm not willing to compete. I'm just saying that's what awards are. You get awards for competition. You compete. It shows you better than your peers. So that plays a role too. Because if we go by what everybody say, for the last 10 to 15 years, the guy who was supposed to be the standard bearer didn't care about awards. So why would anybody else? Again, you're copy and paste. It's a copy and paste world. It don't matter the industry. The NBA, look at it. Steph Curry start firing off threes left, right, center, at half court, full court. Nobody cares. Oh, he's doing that. That's what we need. He's the standard. Now, these kids don't even practice mid-range. You got cats missing layups. that you're not supposed to miss. Why? They didn't practice driving to the lane with their left and their right. They just jacking up threes. Same difference. So how I feel Steph Curry messed up the NBA, Drake messed up hip hop. Because he set poor examples, poor standards. Look at the music videos. These are all things that used to matter. Your music video had to be bomb. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be obsessive about your music. Obsessive about how it looks, how it sounds, how it makes people feel. All the way down to the music video. All the way down to the interviews you do at the radio station. It's a business. This is a profession. A lot of these cats treat hip hop or music in general like a hustle. If you treat it like a hustle and not a business, you're going to get hustle results. And ask a lot of hustlers. Some days it's big, some days it's not. It's part of hustling. Part of hustling. It's more consistency in business. Treat it like a business. I think that's gonna be my closing thesis right there. We need to get back to treating hip hop like a business. This ain't a hustle. Like the baby. Let's take the baby for a second, and then I'm gonna end with this. It'd be hard to not keep talking with you. I like talking to y'all, bro. I like talking to y'all. I can't wait till we hit 100. Once I hit 100 subscribers, before I say what I'm about to say, as soon as I hit 100 subscribers, the late night show that I want to start doing at midnight. So you try to get a video out at midnight or 1 o'clock. If it's too far past that, I usually roll it over to the next day. Perfect example, tonight's late night video is going to be one that was supposed to be for last night, but I couldn't get the timing down. But as soon as I get 100 subscribers, bro, the late night, midnight show ain't going to be just a video I put out. I'm going to do it live because I want to get more into the interaction. But take the baby. There's nobody that can say with a straight fucking face that the baby can't rap. That motherfucker got bars. You hear me? I ask all the time. I ask myself all the time when I get here, sit here, and I'm watching all my different little stuff to see what I want to talk about. How is the baby not bigger in the industry? I get it. He got his, we'll call it off-field issues. But guess what? Tupac was in jail, wasn't he? Snoop beat the murder. So let's not make that too much of a big deal. Because it never has been. So why start now? When I think of when I said we need to get back to finding the talent, put that talent away, work on what needs to be worked on. I don't want to see a album at all for 2 fucking years when I see it. And I know y'all think 2 years a long time. Look, you want to be big or you want to be average? Pause. We gonna hit 1 or 2 mixtapes a year, so motherfuckers know you still around. That's it. We in the kitchen. We cooking. When y'all get that album, it's gonna be fire. It's gonna be fire. If the baby can find, it's always something about when you see a producer and a rapper get together, and for whatever reason they make music like no other. Kind of like what we seeing with Kendrick and Mustard, or Dre and Snoop, you get that one producer that just know your sound and go ham with it. That's what the baby need. Find that right producer and go in the cut. We cooking on this album till it's right. Until then, we'll do 1 or 2 mixtapes. Some motherfuckers know you still doing that thing, and that's it. We cooking. Because part of me think these projects get out too fast. A motherfucker go tuck away for 6 months, work on an album, put it out, and then that's that. I'm thinking maybe, again, this is part of, maybe it's my issue with being an older cat. I think about my legends who, so I've been working on this for a couple of years and I just couldn't get the sound right, but it's finally where I wanted to be. And you hear the work and the work that was put into the music. You hear it. You could hear hard work. Hey, I obsessed over these drums for 3 weeks because there was that one thing that was messing the song up. So I had to get the drums right. Whatever. Had a background singer for this song, and the note wasn't quite right, so we had to go through a couple of ladies to really get the right note and whatever. Got to get back to caring enough to risk time. That time you invest into that album makes a hellified difference. So let's get back to, for one, finding the talent that cares, and then cultivating that talent the right way, instead of rushing it to an industry that's already packed full of mid-ass rappers. That's the problem. I feel like that's the biggest problem, because it ain't never just one thing. It's always a myriad of things. That's all we need. I would probably do the same thing with Big X the Plug. He got a unique sound. He got a nice sound. But this also ties back into regional sound. This ties back into regional sound. If sounds are regional, and every area had that hub, that place where they just cook it up right, I think we'll get better music out of that too. I don't know if it'll necessarily lead to, for an all-star caliber cat, I feel like the cultivation way is the way to go. But even if it wasn't that, we just went back to regional sound where cats really rocked with their area more. Because that's at the same time, that's iron sharpening iron. We go get the best out of every area. So either way, both of these things help move music or hip hop forward. But that's my little 2 cents on that, man. And hopefully we about to get it, because it seemed like a lot of us, especially if you listen to this, you craving for some good music. Summer around the corner, spring is here. You craving for this is the time to wash the car, put the rims back on. Look, we want good music now. I'm happy for everybody that's woke and like, man, you can't give me a hot beat and that's gonna be okay. I need some bars. I want to be able to rap this shit now. So kudos to y'all for asking for better music. But I'm Oop the Great. This is Kush Equilibrium. And I appreciate y'all pulling up the smoke with your boy. I get at y'all.